My YouTube videos are still limited to 15 minutes each, so this is part 2 of the January 18th live, which the part I saw was roughly 2 hours long. We were talking about Ms. Reed's writing. She is a terrible writer. She refuses to admit it. And the thing is, her terrible writing could be used as a way to connect with her audience. If she would actually accept feedback that is other than just kissing her butt, she could both grow as a YouTuber, as a writer, and as a person. I myself am an aspiring writer, and I freely admit that like many in my age group, I had a GeoCities account back in my early college days. I had a fanfiction account, probably fanfiction.net, and if any of you actually find all those things, I will probably be embarrassed as hell because they suck. The difference is, I can admit that they suck. Because that is what happens when you grow as a writer. And even if you end up taking your writings offline and instead circulate them in a little circle of fellow writers and we all critique each other, I mean, that's what C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien did. Did you know they knew each other? They were part of a little group. A whole bunch of aspiring writers got together, they would critique each other's writing, and look what they made out of it. Yeah? Tolkien especially, it took him a very long time to actually get published. Being published or not is really not a sign of how good a writer you are. The world is not fair. The world is not going to be fair. That's just fact. But if you want to grow as a writer, you have to take criticism, and Ms. Reed refuses to do that. She refuses to see she's anything less than perfect. And at the same time she is refusing to take any constructive criticism at all, she also says she hates herself. She claims to hate herself, she claims to hate everything she does, and yet she refuses to grow. Where is the logic there? Moving on, Ms. Reed is not going to get weight loss surgery, and she also says she does not know what talk therapy is. I guess she is not actually seeing a real therapist? Is her idea of therapy just drug therapy? She claims her rent is super expensive. She also says she loves where she lives, but she does eventually want to buy a house. At one point she says she loves how people are saying, "Stop donating" in her chat, and then asks, "Why do you think anyone will listen to you?" She also says Destiny will not be her maid of honor. She agrees she should probably get mods. That chat would probably be much more peaceful if she had like 100 mods. Another super chatter says, "How do you claim to read and write as much as you do, but your grammar, vocabulary, and inflection are god-awful?" This goes back to those things I was saying earlier, doesn't it? Amber just smiles and says thanks for the super chat. Again, she doesn't think she needs to improve. She expects us to believe that she hates absolutely everything about herself, and yet she flatly refuses to improve. She has the means. She has the money because of her YouTube channel. In spite of all the crap she's pulled, she is still extremely popular. She still gets a lot of views, and those views translate into money. All of those views, they're still monetized, so she still has lots of money. And since she's a YouTuber, she is in complete control of her schedule, so she has all the time she needs, and yet she does not actually get anything taken care of. That is her choice. What you see on the screen, everything you see in her videos, are entirely the result of her choices. She's 30 years old now. When she's asked about haul videos, she says she loves watching hauls. Well, of course, you love to spend money. And if you make that money, you want that money. You do what you gotta do. And she does love money, doesn't she? We've seen all of her many hauls and all of her many books. There's a few moments where she talks about, her face is so round, and then makes kissy faces at herself. She has not hit 600 pounds, but oh, are you a scale? She does not weigh 550. She actually weighs less than that. Her opinion on Jeffree Star and the Trisha Paytas stuff, she doesn't much care. But Jeffree should not be supported the way he's supported. Jeffree gets away with anything. This is actually kind of true. Did you know Jeffree Star actually has a Kiwi Farms thread on him? He screwed up. He is not a good person. Moving on. Has Amber ever considered learning an instrument? She thinks playing a bass or guitar might be cool. Somebody mentions that she's going to need a piano box-sized coffin. Amber calls that person a fat-phobic loser. Somebody paid $10 to ask if Amber lost anyone to suicide. She says while she was living in the trailer park, someone related to her did commit suicide in the trailer right next to hers, and that she actually heard it happen. Another person says, donating money to Amber equals killing Amber. And Amber's like, huh? And that's her entire response to that. Well, let me see if I can put it in terms that maybe she'll understand. The more money Amber makes, the more she seems to weigh. I mean, it really is that simple. Ever since she started her YouTube channel, she herself has admitted that it's been a weight gain channel. And it's because she has more and more money to spend the way she truly wants to spend it, which is to buy food. Which, this is going to piss somebody off, I'm sure. But it's Amber Lynn Reid is proof that universal basic income might not be the solution we think it is. Because while you can give people the money they need, there's no guarantee that you can make them spend it the way they need to. Amber has so much money, and what is she doing with it? So when someone says donating to Amber equals killing her, and Amber's like, huh? It's because we see that Amber uses her money to buy food. This ends up going into a nice long rant about how does she defend herself without getting called mean, how there's so much hate aimed after her that running her channel is like being in a room where 90% of the people there are screaming at her, so her anxiety and overwhelm go up. She can't run away or defend herself, and there is no mention whatsoever of how she did this to herself by about 6 or 7 years of lying to her fans over and over and over, and how she creates the haters. Her comments are full of hate, and she doesn't see that on other channels like Jeffrey. At one point, she does invite Feudy Booty to the wedding. She also says that no, her ring is not from Walmart, and then she shows us the box. It's a little too blurry for me to be able to see the box clearly, but being poor, I'm very familiar with Walmart, and after you buy the ring, they will give you the box. It's not from Claire's either, although she does do a bit of a monkey laugh here. She gives us a close-up of the ring a couple times. There's a very weird moment where she talks about if she punched a bitch and then says, oh, I'm the least violent person you'll ever meet. That was weird coming from me. So, okay. And she has horrible memories of living in Arizona, so she's not sure of a meet and greet in Arizona. There's also a small moment where she says a you can afford therapy super chat, and Amber just nods and moves on. She doesn't want to get better. Why should she? Look how much she is getting paid to not get better. That's why that person is saying giving Amber money is like killing her. She also says that yes, at some point she will do a small business haul. She asks people to give a thumbs up to the video if we watch her because she's a train wreck. At some point she asked the chat for which diet plan she should do, and a very fast-moving chat ensued, and she did call Optavia unhealthy. Another super chatter tells her she needs to get healthier or she might get cancer again. She just says, yeah, you're right, and back to blinking at the chat and giggling. She could get the hater channels taken down since it is harassment, but she chooses not to. Let them make their buck. Which sounds like it's actually nice of her. But there is a symbiotic relationship going on between the hater channels and Amber herself. People who find the hater channels first, they watch the haters, they say, oh, this person cannot possibly be that bad, and then they go look up Amber Lynn Reid herself. She does give the reactor channels material to react to, but at the same time, the reactor channels' reactions send more eyeballs her way. So it's actually a two-way street there. So getting all of the hater channels taken down would hurt Amber's bottom line real quick. We actually saw an example of that back when she first said she had cancer and so many of the hater channels backed off, and Amber's views went down a bit. Because Amber herself, as she even admits, is actually rather boring. Amber says she loves weighing herself every day. That sounds odd. I'm quite sure I saw an earlier vlog of hers at some point where she said that weighing herself was triggering, but now she loves weighing herself every day. Okay, don't question the past. Whatever Amber says right now is the truth. Very Orwellian. Amber complains that no one likes what she uploads. Vlogs are boring. Weight loss isn't happening fast enough. Of course, some might say weight loss isn't happening at all. It's just the usual fluctuations. And then when she does apparently sign off, the chat is still going. And while it is a little blurry for my old eyes, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are saying, was there food delivery? To be fair, she was checking her phone a lot before she suddenly signed off. Oh, and by the way, for this roughly 2-hour span of time, roughly 2-hour time span, I tried, since I could see the chat, I tried to go through and tally up everything she made. Now, I ignored a lot of the super chats. If I couldn't be 90% sure that I was looking at American dollars, I ignored it. So American dollars alone, assuming I didn't misread anything, for this roughly 2-hour span is $1,152.58. Can anyone think of any other job where someone of Amber's lack of skill and lack of knowledge can make roughly $500 an hour? And that's just in American dollars. I know I saw Canadian dollars, New Zealand dollars, I think I saw Australian dollars, and a whole bunch of currencies that I could not see clearly enough. I think there were some British pounds in there. I don't know. So Ms. Reed made roughly $500 an hour for this live, openly admitted that the only super chats she could see were the ones roughly $5 and above. This is why I think she will never leave YouTube. There is nowhere else she could go to make $500 an hour with her skill level and level of effort. She's never going to leave YouTube. So anytime she starts threatening that she needs to take a break because people are mean to her, just shrug it off. The money is too good. Amber Lynn Reed is not going to go anywhere. $1,152 for 2 hours.
I like myself perfectly fine. I just don't like you because you're inconsistent and you gaslight your audience and mistreat others. Okay. Let's say I do gaslight my audience. Who freaking cares? Who cares? I'm not perfect. Gaslighting, who cares? Amber, this is literally gaslighting. Your supporters are not happy. Why can't you listen? My supporters, actually, my true supporters understand why sometimes I pop off like this, because that's me a true supporter, because they can see what I deal with every single day, and sometimes someone can just take so much. That's a true support. Don't speak for all my supporters. And to those who are supporters and who are let down by me, I'm sorry that I am angry. I'm sorry that sometimes I get like this because I feel attacked. And I know that if the shoe was on the other foot and you were wearing that shoe, I feel like you would probably react the same way. You need to eat healthier. I don't want you to get cancer. Please go get therapy. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, you're right. Oh boy.
And Ms. Reed basically took the rest of January off. She never does stick to a schedule for long. And she had the option of some actual content, showing the packing and unpacking of her move at the very least. I can understand maybe her mom did not want to come on camera, or perhaps she did not want to cover the deaths in the family, all is understandable. I can even understand her not wanting to talk about cancer treatments, even though it could have been very educational to see how cancer treatments are affected by such a high weight. But Ms. Reed would not even show the move, nor does she seem willing to show any wedding planning whatsoever. She doesn't even show herself putting Legos together. The closest we ever got to any craft at all was her sped-up clip of putting a puzzle together, the occasional bit of a coloring book, and that horrific ASMR where she's pawing at markers. I'll throw Ms. Reed a bone, give her a suggestion to film herself trying to do various old-fashioned hairstyles. Her hair is long enough and thick enough, believe it or not, to attempt the famous crazy super high styles of Marie Antoinette's day, and those tend to be popular, if only for Halloween. Of course, it would take some minimal research and some actual work, so it won't happen, but she does have the hair for it. Instead, Ms. Reed gives us some TikToks where she's really pleased with herself, and she made an OnlyFans. I doubt she'll do much with it, since OnlyFans requires a schedule of some sort, but Dana has one, so of course Amber needed one too. Some people wondered if it was fake, so Kiwi farmers were on the scene. The shirt and ring and bra, etc. date from her September 7th, 2020 video titled Girlfriend Reacts to My New Bra.